Hans Wormhat.
So this is a video for people who believe in pandas.
Are we talking about believing they exist or like believing in them? Because, well, if it's the first one, congratulations on making a video for literally everyone. What kind of moron doesn't believe pandas exist? And if it's the second one, no, I do not believe in them. I think they are rubbish and will always be rubbish. I mean, have you ever seen a panda achieve anything? No, of course you haven't. Because they don't have any goals or ambition in life. Bloody layabouts they are, the whole wretched lot of them.
And I used to be one of those people. And
Wait, used to? Like you don't believe in them now? Oh God, I forgot. You are that kind of moron, aren't you? It's like I never learned my lesson with you people and your magical ability to be completely ridiculous. Somehow it always catches me by surprise. I just don't think I will ever be able to lower the bar enough for you not to just dive right underneath it with meters to spare somehow. I would be impressed if it wasn't so damned annoying.
the story is really weird. It's one of those animals with a really weird story.
Story? I mean, if pandas are telling you stories, I have a feeling you might be a little on the, what's a polite way of saying absolutely button-up bonkers? Oh, right, in need of some help. Yeah, pandas don't tell stories, bruh. They tell disappointments, in that they are disappointing, all the time, because they are just terrible. But not like the good kind of terrible, you know, like my fans, but the bad kind, you know, like Hans.
That doesn't really make much sense, but you just buy it because that's what people tell you.
Oh, right. You don't mean pandas telling you stories. You mean stories about pandas, like what they are and what they do, etc. But what's weird about it? And why doesn't it make sense? And I mean, just because something doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it's weird or wrong or whatever. It might just mean you're, well, the kind of person who doesn't believe in pandas. Which says it all, really. I mean, look at the updated definition of moron in the dictionary. It just says, someone who doesn't believe that pandas are real. And it has a picture of you for some reason. Who knows why?
They allegedly live off just huge amounts of bamboo. And then they even say that they have trouble digesting it, and so they have to just eat a ton of bamboo.
Yeah, that's a part of why they're so awful. They do literally have to spend the majority of their waking hours eating nothing but bamboo. So they can't really do anything other than that. Sometimes to the expense of, like, making more panda. They are kind of the ultimate proof that there's no popped all animals into existence at once creationist type god. Or, if there is, that he is the world's, universe's worst designer ever. Because why would you make a creature that is desperately trying to extinct itself? You know, aside from the humans, whom's just clearly want me to blow up the planet by not keeping their hands worms hatses in check.
And that's not normally what bears do. They don't just eat a ton of grass. That's not a normal thing for a bear, so that's already weird.
Yes, pandas are unusual. That doesn't make them fake. Just because they aren't exactly like other bears. I mean, there are plenty of creatures that differ from their more stereotypical brethren. Does that make them all fake too? Where's the line? Where does a creature go from, okay, that thing eats plants and animals, as bears do, to one that eats exclusively a particular plant, because that's what's around them and they have nothing else to eat at the time or place, because that can happen for a multitude of reasons, be it drought or some kind of disease that wipes out most of the flora/fauna or whatever, and they eventually just get used to that diet. I'm just perplexed as to why that seems so implausible to you.
And then if you start to research some things about pandas, you'll eventually stumble upon the fact that they never depicted pandas in old Chinese art.
Shockingly, that's actually true. But here's the thing. So what? The general references to pandas are also fairly scarce, meaning the creature was quite obscure at the time, and it wasn't actually until the 20th century when they became more well known, mostly due to Western explorers going out and, shooting them. because apparently that's the only way we know how to communicate with creatures we haven't encountered before. Personally, I'm more sensible about that kind of thing. I only shoot things once I've gotten to know them. Anyway, who's up for some bonding time? Don't worry about the shotgun, that's for hunting bees.
They had bears, so this just says that they painted bears a lot, they painted bamboos a lot, but they never painted pandas. That's really weird.
Do you know how f***ing big China is? It's like big, like super goddamn big. And you know the thing about really big spaces? It can be super hard to find things in them. Like, I assume you must have a ginormous head, and that's why it's so difficult to find a couple of brain cells to rub together. Now, I'm not saying that this is definitely the reason why they don't seem to turn up in ancient Chinese writings and art, etc., but it's a reasonable and rational explanation that kicks the crap out of they are made up for no reason. God only knows what you're going to say the live fake pandas are. But if I were a betting man, I would put all my money, wife, house, and kids on it being something really, really silly. Because that's the surest bet in the entire goddamn universe.
And pandas, they always would talk about the trouble that they have having babies. It's like a big thing that you think of when you think of pandas. Well,
they are an evolutionary dead end. I agree. Still doesn't make them fake. Sorry, not sorry. But that's what evolution does sometimes. It makes rubbish animals, but animals that are just good enough to survive in a particular niche. Giant pandas have basically no natural predators, at least when they're fully grown. And, well, yeah, they do have to eat bamboo pretty much all day. Well, the funny thing about China, there's just a teensy tiny bit of bamboo kicking about. Just a measly 4.4 million hectares of the stuff. So, you know, they do have plenty to eat. Thus, it's not completely unfathomable that they may have found that the easiest way to get just enough sustenance to survive. So why change what's working? That's the thing. One facet of evolution isn't actually about what works being absolutely best. It's about what works good enough to not have to do anything else. Creatures will effectively stop evolving if they fit into a niche just right, with no pressures forcing them to adapt.
if you go to any panda video and you go through the comments, you're likely to see people say stuff like, oh, pandas, they just look like drunk people in suits.
Hand on heart, well, hand on the black void where my heart is supposed to be, I have never seen someone say that. And if I did, I would find it hilarious. Unless they are literally referencing the best series of adverts ever created that was uploaded onto internet.com. Because fun fact, that's not actually a real panda in that clip. You can tell because it's in an office, and a panda would never go into an office lest it get roped into getting a job. They will never let that happen. They might discover that there's more to life than eating bamboo and being worthless. Do you know what? I think I might hate pandas. Actually, fun fact, pandas don't have black fur around their eyes. I've just punched them all in their stupid panda faces.
Or, yeah, they might say something like, oh, they look like little kids playing in suits. That's what the truth is.
The truth is that they are little kids playing in suits. Right, so you owe me all of my money, one wife, and you can keep the extra kids. I really don't need any more. You can just send them off to be pandas according to your own ludicrous nonsense. Just wow. I knew it would be dumb, but just wow.
They're just suits, and this one video can show it. This video is from the Toronto Zoo.
Oh, I'm sure that this is going to be super impressive. Also, just a single one? Surely, if you are going to claim that pandas as an entire species are fake, you're probably going to need a little bit more than one example of them being quote-unquote not the real. Because first off, just one example doesn't really prove anything. And secondly, I'm fairly sure that that is not what's going to be shown here. Also, when you say pandas are just suits, now I can't stop imagining a panda in a black suit, like a bodyguard panda, which you will now see, either really amazingly, because I drew it, or really badly because Mrs. Sick won't allow me to draw stuff. Probably because she's just jealous of my talent. I mean, just compare the two. Well, I still like mine. No, you're crying.
So if the Toronto Zoo is producing something like this...
This video? Because that would explain a lot. I mean, you let the monkeys create YouTube content, you're gonna end up with hands, aren't you, really? I mean, I've never seen his face, so if it turned out that he was actually a big hairy beast, just smashing away at a computer to make content, well, I wouldn't exactly be surprised.
This should be something that you can't get past. How can something like this exist?
It's quite easy, actually, to get past things that actually exist, actually existing. Watch, I'll do it now. Huh, pandas are really awful. I just cannot conceive of a single tangible good reason why anybody would fake pandas. It makes literally zero sense to me, and I don't think that there's an argument that would make any sense. Unless pandas were necessary for our existence, which they clearly aren't, have you seen how rubbish they are?
It's because it's all a big joke.
You're a big joke. And the rest of this video is just the panda in the zoo doing panda-like stuff. And I gotta be honest, Hans, I really don't see it. It's just sitting around being panda-like. Like, even the position it's sat in does not look like how a person would, or maybe even could, sit. You know why that is? 'Cause it's a real animal. That's it. You complain about not understanding something, well, I don't understand you. Like, do you actually sit there and just think, pandas are a bit weird, must be fake. Oh, zebras are stripy, they must be fake too. Oh god, you made a video about zebras. And penguins? Oh, go on then, let's have a look.
Wormhat, send this video to people who believe in penguins.
Oh hey, you can just re-listen to the intro to this video and replace the word panda with penguin. Yes, I do mean all of it. Penguins are worthless too. I think I just hate monochromatic creatures walking around, looking the same in black and white movies. Bastards.
And I'm talking about the tuxedo wearing, living at the alleged South Pole.
Alleged? Oh, you know something's going to be just class when they call the South Pole alleged. Like, wow. How do you even approach that? How do you even refute that? Because you take him to the South Pole and he's just going to be like, nah, bruv, that's just the North Pole wearing a hat. A Hans Wormhat. Air horns. I would have put actual air horns there, but Mrs. Sick won't let me use them anymore for some reason. Good morning. Wakey, wakey.
Fuck off. The March of the Penguins type penguin. There is a type of aquatic bird, and it's black and white splotched. It doesn't look like it's wearing a tuxedo, but...
So there are aquatic birds, but just not the tuxedo ones. I mean, it doesn't actually look like a tuxedo. Not really, but yeah. There's a lot to break down here, isn't there? One assumes part of it is going to be because they look like they're wearing a tux. When I hate to tell you, Hans, but in the age-old question of which came first, dress suits or penguins, yeah, sorry, it's penguins, my man. And secondly, there aren't just one type of penguin. I mean, you don't even seem to know what the one you saw is. Impressive knowledge, by the way. But actually, there's loads of birds that swim. Loads and loads of types of penguins. So yeah, I would bet that he didn't know that just because he am the big smarter with no time to do a knowing.
A memory that sticks with me from childhood is...
I sincerely doubt that you could remember what you had for breakfast. But sure, go on.
Going to see the penguins at the zoo, and I was just very underwhelmed because in your mind as a child you think, oh, emperor penguins, these big bright orange, what do you know, these big penguins with bright orange on them, and you get to the penguin exhibit and no, it's these little black and white splotched aquatic birds.
Wow, so Kid You was a dumbass too. Glad to know that it's genetic and not because a monster truck ran over your head or something. Yeah, those were penguins too. You really don't realise that there are different types of penguins either, which is just amazing. You're like a void for knowledge.
And I remember thinking, what, this isn't a penguin? That's what I remember thinking.
And yet, it was. Like I said, there are different kinds. Just a few to my side here, and dude, a bunch more to be sure. But the fact that you don't know that is still really just got me kind of not stumped. I mean, I know you're not very smart, but this is incredibly basic. You could have looked anywhere and seen these, but you couldn't even do that. And one assumes, as is often the case with your type, that you think you're pretty good at research. But to just completely miss that fact beggars belief. I'm just gonna have to go and beat up some more pandas. Really need to get over this whole thing. Did I say beat up pandas? I meant, who am I kidding? You know what I'm about. But it's alright. They've just got little children inside them. Wouldn't want to beat up an animal. That'd be cruel. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the